One question we get a lot here is, why do we recommend a fairly solid boot for the Rockies? And that comes down to a lot of the information that we see across the world. You have to remember that marketing is now global. So there is an important question to ask first. And the first question that you want to ask is, what are you doing with that boot? Because remember, we build mountaineering boots because, well, we go silly places. And those are as solid as they can be. The Rockies are more, well, they're nastier than everywhere else, basically. And so when you hear online that you should be wearing the lightest possible hiking boot that you wear because weight on your feet is X weight on your back, there is some truth to that. But again, we go back to the more important question: what are you doing with it? A lightweight boot, they are fantastic these days, but they suffer from being very flexible. And a very flexible boot does you no favors when you are walking across rocks. And that's everywhere. I mean, think of it, what we call a day hike would be Harling, 2 hours straight up, 2 hours straight down, loose rock, scree. You'll use your hands at least twice. That's the Rockies. We need a more solid boot, and not heavier per se. These are what we refer to as a heavy duty. The weight difference physically is marginal, but they are a couple of grams heavier than something like that. The difference is this: they do not twist. Now, they bend just fine, but if you think about the way that that protects you mechanically, you get a very controlled motion, and you do not get side motion through your foot. If you do 20 Ks in the Rockies in this boot, you will be more exhausted than you will be in a boot like this, any of them, frankly, because it is doing a lot of the work for you, and particularly if you're wearing a heavy backpack and suddenly there's a lot more force involved. So it's all about stability and protecting those joints, and that's why we go with something more solid.